Hello, Tato people. Happy Sunday. This is for Monday. Oh boy. I've chosen an interesting spot. I'm about to get rained on by tree. Collect waters. Life is interesting. You know, one moment you're living each day with a fear of pretty much most things. Anxieties, waking up every day and learning just how to release those anxieties to function normally during the day. To not take out all those anxieties on other people, because most of the time they're not the ones creating it. It's a construct of our own mind. And how things can change on a dime, you know, and how having specific structure sometimes is really good, and having goals that are somewhat attainable seeming, and then some really out there goals are also just, you know, the balance is really good to have, like, the different levels. A lot has changed for me in the last 6 months. From when Saturn went into my sign, which was brutal. You know, it was my first experience back into society after my injury, and basically just getting ripped to fucking shreds by people. Coworkers, friends, lovers, club goers. It was not pretty. But I was so stuck in trepidation of life. But I was trying to break out on my own and find my voice and find who I was and not follow the pack, which is difficult, dangerous, and scary. And it's been a hell of a ride. And it's not done yet. It's just, I feel like I've gone over the first major free fall. And thank God there was some kind of seatbelt holding me in, because otherwise I would have just flown off and just, you know, bust my head open. You know, sometimes I feel like my head did bust open, just slightly. A little concussion. But, you know, maybe that concussion's a good thing, because it helps me see things differently, and I'm starting to really shift my perception of things, especially of myself, because that's the one perception I really needed to adjust. I mean, I was able to really see other people and the way things are for the way that they were, and it was a lot of based on fairness and balance because of my past Libra node. But now I get to focus on me. Me. I mean, how? I mean, yes, selfishness should be, you know, incremented, and it can't all be about me, but I get to discover me, and so I get a little bit more license, I feel like, sometimes to just be with me. And sometimes it's not always great. I mean, there's not great things about me. I'm not gonna, you know, pretend like I can be flaky. I can be controlling, manipulative, all these things. But knowing that about myself turns that from a weakness into a strength, because then I can use that. And I have used it for positive, constructive things. Like, especially my job. I'm able to use my control freakness for my job to be so much better at it and make people better. And that makes me feel good, because I like to make people feel better. I'm not trying to hurtle around in this world causing chaos and destruction, honestly. Like, maybe the old me was, because there was a chip on her shoulder of having to be so fair about everything, and that's really how it wasn't supposed to be, and then I would get taken advantage of. So she was out on a warpath of destruction, and that led to some very, very dangerous and awful situations between me and other people. Situations that I don't want to revisit because they're not constructive or conducive of a good and happy, fulfilling life. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. It's really great to know that this last year, all the pain and suffering and sadness and incredibly disabling days were worth all of it, because I'm able to get back up and become me again, but better me, evolved me. You know, death rebirth is a process of shedding the old skin. You have to go into the cocoon, and then all of it just starts shifting and changing and moving. It's painful. It hurts. Looking at yourself and saying, this is not good, this is a bad thing, is awful and hard to do, because it goes against your will to want to self-destruct yourself. Redundantness, I know. But luckily, I have such great experience and practice being a blue color personality test. If you haven't taken it, go online, look it up, take it. Self-critical, you know, it tends to be easier to evolve and change. But then there's always that, you know, that false confidence that you can have sometimes with a Aries rising, or not rising, node placement of the self, that thinking all of your ideas and all of your things, everything you do is great. But then counteracted with that self-criticism and basically tearing yourself to shreds every day. I feel like I have a good balance now of, you know, safeguarding the things, you know, because you get launched into a thought process of, oh, I'm so great, and then you hit one roadblock, and then you fall, and then you're like down here where you're like, I'm horrible, and there's no balance in that. No, it's not. It's just completely stupid. My music stopped. I don't know what's up with this. There we go. Endless road. Sure. Yes, it's an endless road of that. So you gotta balance. I mean, you're not gonna be perfect all the time, and you're not gonna be terrible all the time. You're gonna be somewhere in between. But balancing that out and not getting ahead of yourself and not being too cocky as to say that, you know, well, and I'm the best, and with a lot of our personality traits, sometimes delusion is somewhat necessary for this transformation, this death rebirth process. And I think for today, we did get the death card in reverse and the world, so it's really funny to think about that's what's coming to mind in my meditation, and I totally had forgotten about that. I was just like thinking, I was like, okay, so what am I going to talk about today? It's not even the cards. Like, I don't even remember. That's the thing. I am that, like, on to the next day, that, like, yesterday was a thing that happened, and I sort of remember a little bit of it, depending on how much it really affected me, which is usually not that much these days, except, you know, really great things that I remember. I like to forget the bad things, you know, or the unfortunate things. But, like, things that stand out to me, obviously, are going to carry on, and then I self-analyze and understand why those were things, and then I, you know, continue to process. It's always a processing effect, which is probably why I, like, seem like I'm never really connected to this world unless I have, like, a specific, like, time or purpose when I'm actually doing it. Then I'm off in my own world. And Nicole's world is great. I love it there. Oh, all right. I make the rules in Nicole's world, so yeah, that's pretty good. It reminds me of like that show. What is it, Bobby's World? Didn't we have like? I just remember a little bit of it. I remember not really liking it because there was like some uncle in there that was really like obnoxious. I think it was like Rodney Dangerfield did the voice or something. Rodney Dangerfield. I'll keep my opinions to myself about certain things because I know not everyone shares those, but I mean, it's, yeah, don't read my face. I'll get a little sage to clear the energy. I was just doing some massages, so it's pretty great. Getting back into the groove of things. Still have stuff to work on, obviously. Not perfect, but I'm getting back into understanding why massage was such a great career for me and why I'm definitely well suited and very good at what I do for the most part. But, you know, always learning new things and discovering new things is a part of the process, and, you know, I hope to continue my knowledge and understanding of the human body. That's always been really my focus, but, you know, when you lose yourself and you have to find yourself again, you can't really focus on that. And I feel just eternally blessed that I have had the help that I need in life to get myself back, because I don't know what I would have done. I mean, I probably would have been out on the street or living in my car if it wasn't for my parents, because, I mean, I was not in a position to really come back from where I had gone. I mean, you get to a point where you just go, you're gone, and your mind is gone. And family is very important. If it's made or if it's from birth, it's, you know, it's a fantastic thing that we have in life, and it should always be cherished, regardless of how annoyed or how irritating or anything like that. Or, I mean, I love my family, and I will always love my family, and I hope to create a wonderful family of my own when, you know, the time comes for that, because having a great support network of very good people around you is very important, because, as I've discovered, you cannot do it alone, as much as I'd like to try. I don't know everything. Relish that. Relish the honesty. I can be wrong. Ha! It is only normal to miss someone who is dear to you, but remember, love knows no separation. You may be physically apart, yet spiritually you are always united. Those you love are forever present in your heart. Some of my family's not around, and it's hard because you get to a point where you just block it out because you don't want to like feel the pain of missing somebody, but they're there, and when you connect with them, it's great to connect back, and then you feel like you have more energy pouring in and out, a balance, temperance. Life is constantly changing, yet at its core it remains the same. Love does not change, it only grows stronger. Change is simply love unfolding its never-ending story. You, my beloved, are like a golden ray of sunshine. I breathe your love in, and all my concerns melt away, and all that is left is pure joy. Thank you, my beloved soulmate. I'm trying not to be obnoxious today. I'm just riding a high of things. Surround yourself with nature and you will feel a greater sense of well-being. Nature's healing energy is sensual and magical. It will awaken the sensual magic within you. Dewdrops falling from the tree, sometimes on my neck. That the little drops of moisture remind you that we have feeling and dermatomes in our skin, and that every inch of you, when touched in a certain way, can trigger other things. I surrender all negative beliefs that no longer serve me and replace them with loving thoughts and intentions. From this moment on, I will listen only to the voice of love. Your love is an endless source of inspiration. Negativity can be disguised as positivity. That's what I've kind of noticed. And positivity can be disguised as negativity. It's quite the mind fuck. Let me tell you. I mean, cards for me, for my sign next month, are the Tower card. So I can only imagine what that is going to entail for me. Leaving me slightly anxious and intrepidatious. But time does not stand still. We keep on moving forward, and so we must. And so I will not think about tomorrow. I will not think about next month right now. I will think about now, this podcast. Speaking of, goodness gracious. Oh, we got all major arcana cards. I don't know how that happened. I shuffled. Okay, alright. It's gonna be a big Monday. Hold on to your seat, people. Summer haze, right? End of July, soon to be August. The Tower card, reversed. The Hierophant card, reversed. The Hermit, reversed. And Death, Rebirth, reversed. We are transforming, people. We are becoming new and different. We are opening up our minds, and we are seeing things in a different way. Let me turn around here. All I can say is, yes. Thank you, universe. It is time. It is time for change. It is not scary. It does not have to be scary. It's time. It's time. Tower card. Things that weren't built on solid foundations are now imploding and resetting to where they rightfully should have been. Like I said today, the Tower reversed usually tempers the energy slightly, can also refer to other people around you and other ways of it being. The Hierophant in reverse is kind of about non-traditional or untraditional ways of things going, but heed with caution, we skirting the line, yes, but completely bulldozing it through, it's not going to necessarily work that well. People like to fight against what they already traditionally know. They have a set way of doing things, and people are used to the way that things are supposed to be. And so when things are out of the ordinary, it makes them uncomfortable. It makes it uncomfortable. People don't like it. It's hard. But that's just because they're not prepared for all of this. The Hermit card, seek the inner wisdom. If you need to spend some time alone, the inner being, the inner knowledge, the deep down thought, the wisdom. I mean, all of this breaking apart, this is going to become even clearer for us, where we're able to truly see the inside, the third eye, the knowing, the how, and the transformation. The phoenix rising from the flames, the ashes, the burning of this Tower card, bulldozing down unconventionally. We know now, and we can rise and become new. Punctuation. Princess of Swords, Six of Cups, and Chariot, all upright. New new thoughts, new messages, new instances, new things being said and understood and out there. Maybe by a less mature person, thought, maybe not well thought out, because we are becoming a new baby born again of ourselves. Regeneration. And it has to do with some old emotional stuff. So maybe some old emotional stuff is making its way to the surface now, and it's finally it's becoming hashed out. There's a hashing. I mean, it also, this is a stability card, so maybe it was breaking through the stability. It's breaking through the stability of what was once immature and not well thought out and not well understood, or trying to think of it. The word which just came to me and then went away. A past thought of like how things were usually thought about or said, instead of a new way, a new, more mature way. Directed force, go. Chariots forward. Charge forward. Through all of it. Because we will become new again. Alright, break through that summer haze. Bid you adieu.